So The Huntsman, Winter's War is the highly anticipated sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman. Did anyone ask for this? Like, seriously, was there really that high of a demand for a sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman? Does anyone even remember Snow White and the Huntsman? I don't. I mean, I saw it. It wasn't bad. It was fine. But, like, who asked for this? Seriously, like, who's the one person who desperately needed to see a sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman? 2016 in general seems to be the year of us getting unnecessary sequels that nobody asked for or wanted, yet we're getting anyway. Who was the one person at Universal Studios who said, hey, remember that movie we made with Thor, Bella, and Imperator Furiosa? Yeah, let's make a sequel to that. Because, you know, money.
Money, money, money.
Another thing that made no sense about this movie is whether it was a sequel or a prequel. The first trailer made it look like a sequel because, you know, Charlize Theron is back as the evil queen and she sees Chris Hemsworth as the huntsman and she's like, hey, I missed you, or whatever, you know, stupid evil stuff. But in the second trailer, they make it seem like a prequel. They even use the exact words, the story before Snow White.
The story before Snow White.
So it's a prequel, right? Well, no, it's actually a sequel. But for some reason they wanted to make it look like a prequel to draw people's interest, I guess. It does open with like a flashback, but it's not like the whole meat of the movie. I did like the cast this movie had. I mean, Chris Hemsworth, Jessica Chastain, Charlize Theron, Emily Blunt, those are all really good people. So I went into this movie like, yeah, it could be good. As you can tell, I'm not very smart. This movie is the definition of a cash grab sequel. You could tell that they originally intended to just make Snow White and the Huntsman a one-off, but since they want to make this sequel, they try to like switch stuff around, like events that happened in the last movie, to make it seem like, oh hey, we planned this all along. It's all part of this big plan, even though we didn't really have a plan and we're just making stuff up because we want to make more money with the sequel. And it stinks. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Yeah. Presentation-wise, this movie's just kind of a mess. The costumes are kind of cool, but they look more like they're part of a fashion show than they are an actual movie. Although that was kind of a problem with the last movie, so I guess that's not a problem. Plus, Charlize Theron looks good in pretty much anything you put her in. The CGI is kind of all over the place too. I mean, the CGI on the dwarves looks really good, but like, there's this one scene involving these like trolls or goblins, I forget what they were, and like, CGI looks awful. It looks so bad. The Heartless from Kingdom Hearts on my PlayStation 2 looked more convincing than the CGI on these trolls. They look terrible. There's only like one troll that you see up close, and for the most part he looks fine, but then more trolls start coming in and you don't even get close-ups of them because you could tell that they didn't have enough CGI in the budget, so they just kind of like threw a bunch of like pixels on the screen and said, yep, that's good, yeah, that looks convincing. The scale is really off too. For example, when this army is going back to their base, it's like in the mountains or whatever, right? But the mountains are so small looking, and the army marching back, they all look like they're giants. Like, the scale is just so bad. The cinematography in a lot of areas is pretty decent, but overall, the movie's kind of not enjoyable to look at. But hey, maybe the story and acting's better, right? Well, probably the best character in this movie was Chris Hemsworth as the Huntsman. He's suave, he's snarky, he's likable, he's pretty much just Scottish Thor, though. The dwarves from the first movie also come back. Well, kinda. Only one of them comes back, and they get 3 other ones that weren't in the other movie. I was worried they're gonna be like the Jar Jar Binkses of the movie, but rather than being annoying throughout the entire movie, they did have a couple good lines here and there, and a lot of their jokes just kind of fall flat.
We have no quarrel with you.
We seek a mirror. I don't got no mirror.
Oh, that's clear.
Right.
Charlize Theron was pretty good in this movie too. She was my favorite part of the last movie, and she was one of the best parts of this movie, but I'll talk a little more about her in a second. And now let's talk about these totally 100% original and new characters that we have in the movie. First, you have Jessica Chastain's character, Sarah, a red-headed huntsman with a Scottish accent who's great at archery and goes by the lifestyle of, honey, you don't need no man. Wow, what a brave decision to make a brand new character. And then you have Emily Blunt as the evil Ice Queen Freya, a former princess who flees to the mountains, leaving her sister behind after a great tragedy involving her family. Here, she has finally embraced her powers and lives in complete and total isolation. I'm sure you'll be frozen solid after her performance. Okay, so yeah, these two are complete and total ripoffs. They didn't even try. They didn't even try to make them original. They just took them and made darker versions of them. That's all they did. But there's also one more character I want to talk about. It's not really a spoiler. It doesn't involve any of the plot, but they don't really talk about it in the trailers, but I'm going to talk about it here. So if you don't like it, deal with it. Leave. Fine. I don't care. I'm used to people leaving me. Okay, here it goes. What the heck was Liam Neeson doing in this movie? If you haven't seen it, you're probably saying, what? Liam Neeson's in this movie? Yeah, he's the narrator. Why is Liam Neeson the narrator of this movie? He is a respected actor. Why did he just totally like cash in on this role of him just talking and giving exposition? Does he really need this money that bad? Has Phantom Menace finally caught up to him? So yeah, the characters besides the Huntsman and Charlize Theron are overall pretty bleh. The story is kind of all over the place too. It opens up with like this flashback sequence and then it goes to after the events of Snow White and the Huntsman. They have to go get the mirror or whatever, and this movie's just super boring, like seriously. Like nothing happens most of the time. I was just sitting in my chair just like, ugh. The movie did get kind of interesting when Charlize Theron showed up, which was in the third act of the movie. So she was in it for 20 minutes. And she was the only character I was interested in seeing.
Are you ready, Huntsman?
Why are movie studios so stupid? Why are they so compelled? They are so adamant in thinking, hey, we need to give away the entire plot of the movie in the trailer for the movie. It's so stupid. I want to be shocked. I want to be surprised. I mean, if Charlize Theron was kept a secret, which she should have been, it would have been so cool to see because I was like, oh, okay, Charlize Theron's in this movie. The rest of the movie kind of stinks, but hey, at least Charlize Theron's in it. That's cool. But no, they had to show her in the trailer, totally ruining it and wrecking it for everyone, so seeing this movie is pretty much pointless because you know exactly what's going to happen in it. Terminator Genesis did this when they showed that John Connor became a Terminator. Batman v Superman did this when they showed that Doomsday and Wonder Woman are in the movie when they should have been kept a secret. The movie could be so much better if you made details like that ambiguous and didn't tell the audience that was going to happen.
I feel like I'm gonna explode here! Ugh.
The story is boring, the characters are boring, the effects are boring, it's just a really boring movie. My advice, just go watch the first one if you haven't seen it. I mean, it's a lot better than this one for sure. I mean, the first one looks like Citizen Kane compared to this one. Or if you want to see another Disney like fairy tale movie gone slightly darker, go see Jungle Book. Jungle Book's pretty good, that's making money. This one's not. So yeah, that's all I got. If you hated this review, sorry. If you liked it, I'll make more in the future. Maybe. I don't know. See you guys later.